Louis Vuitton Cup, Round Robin 3, Race 3, 21 July 2013. Emirates Team New Zealand versus Luna Rossa Challenge. John Novice video. This is Emirates Team New Zealand tuning up before the start. Tacking here. Nice clean fast tack. You can see the dagger board being pulled up on the left side of the boat. A first downwind foiling pass. This is on starboard jibe. They'll be getting ready probably to jibe pretty soon. We should look for the dagger board on the near side hull to go down. There goes the crew. She's up high, getting ready to drop. Passing Luna Rossa Challenge. Still waiting here. There's the dagger board down. The jibe is starting. The boat is turning to the left. Completing the jibe. This was not a foiling jibe. Both hulls went in the water, but the boat is coming back up onto its foils fairly quickly. I'd call that a medium speed jibe. And now she's fully foiling. Here comes Luna Rossa Challenge, foiling downwind. She is also on starboard jibe to start. Let's see if she does a jibe. The usual tip-off is to see some movement by members of the crew. There the crew goes. And the board is down. She's now turning in her jibe, but pretty slow. Dropped that leeward hull in deeply. Bow came up. Didn't keep a good attitude, and the boat slowed down considerably, so that was not a real clean jibe. Getting back up to speed now. Up on her foil, but struggling to stay up. Here comes Emirates New Zealand around the reaching mark, practicing the reaching jibe that we have right after the start of a race. Again, this is still pre-start practice. Whoa, both hulls in the water, a lot of spray, slowed down a lot, but not too bad. Getting up, ready to do her jibe. Watch the crew. Whoop. The near side hull went down, slowed the boat a little bit. Getting set up again. You should start to heel fairly soon to drop that board again. There goes the crew. And down goes the dagger board. Starting the jibe turn, turning to the left. This is much better than the prior one. She's staying on her foils, which is much faster than dropping the hulls in the water. Now she's on port jibe with the wind coming from the left, heading down toward Alcatraz Island. Here comes Luna Rossa practicing that reaching turn that occurs right after the start. She's now foiling, approaching the reaching mark. Good, nice smooth foil, good attitude. Here's the reaching mark. Oop, touchdown there a little bit. Getting ready to turn. Here starts her turn. Notice the crew going down to set up for the jibe. Moving from our side to the other side of the boat. There go the grinders pumping the hydraulic system. She's getting ready to drop the near side dagger board. There it goes down in the water. Turning to the left. Oh, and hulls down in the water. So this again was a fairly slow jibe. She's still moving, but lost considerable speed in the jibe. This would cost her in a race. And back up on the foil, passing Emirates New Zealand. Now we're approaching the start. Those are the two boats jockeying for position in the starting box. Looks like Emirates New Zealand is cutting Luna Rossa some slack there. There's the starting mark up at the left side of the screen. Counting down to the start. And there's the start. Both boats turning, crossing the line, heading for the reaching mark toward us. We're looking from a point of land near the Golden Gate Yacht Club. In the background of the Marin Headlands near Sausalito. There the two boats are approaching the reaching mark. Look at Emirates New Zealand. She's flying. Coming from behind Luna Rossa, she has passed on the inside. Touchdown briefly there. She's getting ready for her turn. This is the mark rounding now. Notice that Luna Rossa has been forced very wide by being outside of Emirates New Zealand. Emirates New Zealand is turning tight and fast on the inside. Notice how she's opening up a gap already. She's heading much more down the course. She's getting ready for her jibe. Watch the crew go down to the other side of the boat. Here's Luna Rossa. She tried a quick jibe and dropped into the water. We missed that when we were watching Emirates New Zealand. Slow jibe, cost her distance. She's now coming back up on her foil and regaining speed. But a very large gap is opened between the two boats already. This early in the race, that's a pretty large gap. Looking again at Emirates New Zealand, heading directly for Alcatraz Island. Here's our gap. And Emirates New Zealand getting ready to jibe again. Turning to the right this time. There go the crew down to the right. Heeling up. And jibing, making her turn right there. Whoa, here comes Luna Rossa. Now it looks in this image like Luna Rossa is really caught back up to Emirates New Zealand, but it's not really true. Emirates New Zealand is considerably farther from us than Luna Rossa. As you can see, the mast looks a lot shorter. The masts are actually the same height, and they look shorter because Emirates New Zealand was quite a bit further away. Here they are in the far distance as they approach the leeward mark, which is the furthest to the east of the starting line.
Just now running the turn.
Nope.
Yeah, they just ran.
Nope. Nope. And around. Emirates New Zealand has rounded the leeward mark, which is right in the center of the screen. Luna Rossa is still approaching. Emirates New Zealand is actually on the upwind leg heading back toward us. There's Luna Rossa going around. While I was moving my camera position, Emirates New Zealand had a serious breakdown, a mechanical failure. The jib dropped down, and they had to cut the jib away and drop it into the water to be picked up by their chase boat. This slowed them down considerably. They were just creeping along Alcatraz, and Luna Rossa closed the distance considerably. Now Emirates New Zealand is being forced to race the remainder of the race without a jib, using just her wing sail. So this is a drawback. When she goes into attack, the tack will be a lot slower because she lacks the jib to help bring the boat through the wind. So you notice that she's tacked there. There comes Luna Rossa moving up alongside her. Luna Rossa is actually a little further behind than she looks here because she's further away, but still she's closed the gap considerably. You can get a better idea here of how far Luna Rossa is behind Emirates New Zealand. She was not as close as she looked, although she has closed the gap considerably. But Emirates New Zealand is still sailing quite fast even without her jib. Another look at the gap between the two boats. You can see a helicopter there taking shots of the race. Luna Rossa challenge going to windward. She just doesn't look quite as fast as Emirates New Zealand, even with the jib advantage. There's Emirates New Zealand behind her, considerably farther up the course toward the western mark, which we call the windward mark. And Emirates New Zealand is now approaching the windward mark, the farthest to the west. She's passed the north gate and is heading for the south gate. There's two marks. She can choose the one she wants to go around. Now she's crossing Luna Rossa, although the distance is a lot bigger than it looks in the video. There she's rounding the mark there and making her turn downwind toward the east. Wind is coming from behind her, and she'll try to get up on her foil as soon as she can. Wind looks a little lighter there, so it's a little slower getting started. And there she's starting to pick up speed. And up on the foil. And into a jibe. Board is down. She's turning counterclockwise, heading more toward the north, past a spectator boat. And trying to get back up on her foil. Now Luna Rossa has gone around as well, and is up closer to the north tower that's in the background of the Golden Gate Bridge. But again, the distance is a lot greater than it looks in the video because of the telephoto lens we're using. A better look at the gap between the two boats. There's the helicopter between them. Emirates New Zealand going very fast, foiling, heading toward Alcatraz Island. Luna Rossa challenge in hot pursuit. There she is up on her foil. Approaching Alcatraz Island there. Oop, board down. She's getting ready for a jibe. Into the jibe, turning counterclockwise back toward the north, heading down toward Alcatraz. She'll have to jibe again to go back the other way once she gets closer to Alcatraz. This is the process of going downwind, which forces these boats to sail a zigzag course. They can't just go straight. And the two boats way down toward the leeward mark. They're coming back toward us. Both boats have been around the leeward marks, which we can see in the distance. It's over there on the left. Emirates New Zealand is still well in the lead. This is Luna Rossa Challenge heading toward the south. North. Looks like she may be getting ready for a tack upwind. Yes, she just tacked, and now she's headed back toward us on the south part of the side of the bay. And here she crosses Luna Rossa. Again, the gap is considerably more than it looks in the picture. Notice the difference in the apparent mast heights of the two boats. Emirates New Zealand tacking. Notice she's still sailing without a jib, no headsail, which makes their tacks considerably slower, so she's losing an advantage in being able to tack more quickly. But she's nonetheless showing excellent speed toward up into the wind and is going, opening up the gap considerably over Luna Rossa Challenge. There's Luna Rossa Challenge behind her. Emirates New Zealand. She's near our position. Getting ready for attack. See the crew members coming toward our side of the boat. And there goes the tack. The board on the far side goes down. The board on this side comes up. And she settles in on the new tack, heading up to the last time around the windward or most western mark. Luna Rossa Challenge also going upwind for that windward westerly mark. Notice that she's zigzagging a little bit as she tries to find the optimum heeling angle. And Emirates New Zealand is around the windward mark, the most westerly mark, for the last time. Pushing hard, bows were down, starting to accelerate. And up on the hull and foil. She's now foiling, heading downwind toward the east. Little maneuvering there. Remember, she has no jib, so balancing the boat is a little trickier than if she had the jib. Whoa! Back up on the foil. There goes the crew down. Looks like they're getting ready for a jibe. There goes the board down. Into the jibe. Through the jibe, you can see Luna Rossa behind her. Jibing through. Not a terribly clean jibe. Way down on the near hull, the hull closest to us, lost some speed, but she has a big lead, so it's not terribly important. It looks like they're probably sailing pretty conservatively. And now they're getting back up on their foil. And Luna Rossa Challenge approaching the windward mark for the last time. This is the most westerly mark. There it is. She's approaching quite slowly. She doesn't seem to have the speed that Emirates New Zealand had. And she's turning. She's around the mark. Heading to the east, down toward us. Let's see how fast she can get up on her foil. There she goes, starting to heel. And up on the foil. And she also will probably jibe pretty soon, so let's watch the crew. See them set up for a jibe. There they go. And down with the board. Into the turn, foiling through. Ooh, bow down going in, stern down going out, kind of crashed into the water, so that was a kind of a sloppy jibe, but still carried a fair bit of speed through it. She's still going pretty well, so let's see how fast she can get back up on a foil. And now she's foiling. Emirates New Zealand in the distance. She's heading down toward the last turning mark, the leeward mark before the finish, which is the most eastern mark. Here's back to Luna Rossa. She's not even at Alcatraz yet, way behind New Zealand. And here she is approaching Alcatraz. Here's Emirates New Zealand again, getting down near the last turning mark before the finish. Back to Luna Rossa Challenge, still way behind Emirates New Zealand. There's the mark at the right side of her screen. And Emirates New Zealand, well ahead. See how much smaller she looks because she's a lot farther in the distance. You can see now the two mark gates, one at the left, one at the right. Now New Zealand will probably jibe and head for the right mark. She is. There's a jibe turning to the right. Luna Rossa has now jibed also and is heading back to the left. Again, they can't go straight downwind. They have to zigzag. There she is, around the mark for the last time and headed for the finish. That's along Treasure Island. And this is again along Treasure Island, past some crowd of people watching from a breakwater as she heads to the south and to the finish line. Back to Luna Rossa Challenge. She should be getting ready to jibe pretty soon. And there she goes into her last jibe. Now turning to the right, back toward the south. And soon she'll go around the last turning mark, the leeward mark, the easternmost mark, to head for the finish. There's the mark. And she's, oh, actually that's the north gate. There's two marks. She can go around either one. She's going for the south gate, so she's not around yet. And there, she rounded the south gate. And along Treasure Island to the finish. And the fans watching the end of the race. Well, that's all for this race. Thank you for watching.